Hello all. Welcome to the session. So today we are going to talk about the most important part of the MBA preparation, which is the test series, the mocks. Right? I actually said it is the most important part. The most important part is not where you sit and solve your quant or practice reading. The most important part, in my opinion, is taking mocks. Is a test series, right? So that is what we are going to talk about today, right? And so let me just quickly put up my slides on the screen, right? And let us begin with a small discussion. Do you know? So if you take five mocks, starting whenever, last month, this month, right? Not later, but at least now. If you've taken five mocks and you've not done any analysis to the mocks, the percentile stagnates. If you take five mocks and do a detailed analysis along with that, there's a jump of 10 to 20 percentile points over the same period, or the period of five mocks, right? So that 10 to 20 percentile jump comes in when you do the detailed analysis. So what do I mean by this, by the way? Let me go back to the title slide, right? If you are taking mocks, if you're not taking mocks, your prep amounts to zero, absolute zero. There's no meaning of your CAT preparation if you're not taking mocks right now. And if you're taking mocks and you're not analyzing, that also amounts to zero, right? So what am I trying to essentially say is that the one-stop solution for your mock, for your CAT prep is going to be the mock. And the one-stop solution for your mock is going to be the analysis. And the one-stop solution for the mock analysis is going to be this session in a way. Okay, so that is what we are going to cover today. So let's go on to and talk about the top 100 percentiler jo score karta hai, 100 percentile. What is their secret? What is that person's secret? Their secret is then you take the mocks, you analyze the mocks, and then you retake mocks. Now, what do you mean by retake mocks and how do you do it? You don't just sit and write the mocks again. That's not what I mean by reattempt every mock. So there's a method to the madness and there's a way to do it. And that is the way I'm going to talk to you about. Fair. So now let me get into this cycle that you see on the right. I'm sorry, in presenting this, the whole the word has gotten split, but that's okay. The first step of what you have been doing so far, or you will be doing now, is the preparation, right? So, of course, you start preparing, you start studying quant, you start with percentages, you go on to profit and loss, simple interest, compound interest, ratio, proportion, and that's how you progress with your quant. In DILR, what do? You start studying logical reasoning, analytical reasoning, data interpretation through tables, graphs, charts, Venn diagrams, arrangements, sequences, and so on and so forth. However, have you realized that no one, if you've taken any mock, even one mock, you would see that no one asks you a simple arrangement question what you are studying as a part of your preparation, or no one asks you a simple table-based question in CAT, right? So that there is a problem, right? What you are studying is something different than what is being asked in the mock. Why is that? Now, I don't care which institute you are preparing with or what study material you're using, right? Everywhere, the basic start with a table or arrangement questions or some such, which is not the way they ask in CAT, right? So why do we study those things then? What is the reason? Why do we do that? And before I begin talking about that, please make sure that you feel free to write in the chat, and time as and when I can, I will be able to take your questions. So good. Let me start looking at the comments to start with. So good evening, Rudra. Thank you for the wishes. Vanshika says, sir, I've taken total 7 mocks till now, but have analyzed only one. So I'll talk about that. So what do I do now? So Vanshika, I'll come back to you, right? I'll come back to you. So yes, we were talking about studying DILR the way we are studying, but that not being the same with the mock or the actual cat. So basically what you're studying is the foundation blocks, right? So before you start building a building and you build a second floor or the 20th floor, you need to build the foundation. That's exactly what you're doing when you're doing the preparation. So that preparation is very important. Then you start laying those bricks over the foundation, and that is what the practice is about. So preparation and practice form the foundation and the base and the wall, basic wall, the slabs of your preparation. But the building cannot be constructed, and it cannot be a beautifully constructed building without the rest of the three parts of the process. So the third part of the process is when you go into mocks, you have a basic strategy to start with. Some stupid strategy. You have no clue when you're taking your first mock. You have no bloody clue of what you are going to do in that mock. Have some thought. When you go into the second mock, you have some idea because you've taken one mock. You have learned from it, right? So there is some sort of a semblance of a strategy when you get into the session, get into the testing. Then you get into the test. When you take the test, you try to apply the strategy as much as you can. That's what you do. And once the testing phase is over, the testing is over, then it is important to analyze. Now, that is what our session is about today. And once the analysis is done, and you know that this is my strength and this is my weakness and this is where I'm wasting time, you go back to the preparation and the practice. So this cycle, you are sitting in June, and this practice that you will start, from preparation, practice, strategy, test, analysis, this process will go on from now all the way till November. Okay, so that is what this is about. So I hope so far we are on the same page. As far as Vanshika's question was concerned, Vanshika, if you've taken 7 tests, that's a good start. But if you've not analyzed those mocks, that is a problem, because your 8th mock will be no different from your 5th mock because there is no analysis that has gone in. Okay. So yes, does it make sense to analyze? Yes. Should I take the next test next weekend? Yes. So in the meantime, you cannot analyze all 5-6 mocks that are remaining, right? Analyze 1 or 2 of them, the last 1 or 2. Start with that. Go into the next mock with a strategy. Right? Take learning from the next mock, the 8th mock that you will take. And change your strategy, because your strategy will keep evolving over time. Right? Rudra says, sir, I haven't taken any mocks yet. Rudra, that is an alarming situation. Okay? So let me give you some idea about it before I answer your question. When did CL CDC mocks start? Any guesses on when the CDC mocks for this season started? You could write that in the chat. When did the first mock come in for CAT 2025? Come on, some guesses, please. CL's first mock. Yes, Vanshika, you are right. That was in Jan. Not April, Rudra. It was in Jan. So January, we had our first launchpad mock. The second mock was in March. And by now, I think we've conducted some 7-8 mocks. Why start in January or why start in March? Why start so early? So let me start with this thought. Okay. So there's a train running, and I keep saying this, you might have heard this in some other session as well, because this is my best analogy that I give. If there's a train running, it needs tracks to run. Generally in India, when you see the tracks, there are 2 tracks going parallel all the way. From the source to the destination, the tracks run parallel to each other, exactly the same distance and exactly the same length, right? There is no difference between the length of the tracks. There can't be. You have 2 tracks of your preparation. Now look at this cycle that you see in front of you, right? So if you consider these 2 parts, one is the preparation and practice as one track, and strategy, testing, and analysis as another track. These 2 tracks run parallel to each other. A lot of students say that, sir, I was in the classroom, but I had only 2 chapters were done. It was no sense for me to take a mock. Who said? It was still sensible for you to take the mock to understand where you stand. Where are you right now? Where are you? What is your starting point? Right? If I know what I know, if I know 3 chapters at least, can I apply those 3 chapters into my mock? Did I get those questions right at least? Was I able to solve 1 or 2 or 3 more questions that I did not study in the classroom, but I got them by jugad, my own logic, my own working out from the options? Could I do that? How will I know that? Till I don't take a mock. How will I know what the pattern is? What kind of questions come in? What kind of pressures there are? Whether I can sit for 2 hours or not? How will I know those things? Unless I take my mocks. So that is why you should be taking mocks. In fact, that is my next slide also, right? So, okay. Why mocks matter more than you think? So this is what I was talking about. So it is not a test of your knowledge, what you've studied. It is more of the test of your strategy. See, when we know that there are 68 questions in CAT, I have to get 32 to 33 questions net correct to get a 99 percentile. You take last 3 years mocks, it is less than 50% of the total number of net correct questions. So, agar 68 questions are total, you need not more than 30 to 33 questions to get 99 percentile. Which means I'm supposed to leave the rest of the 50% questions, or I might get some of them incorrect. If I'm supposed to leave so many questions, that means the game is not of knowing everything. The game is of selection and rejection, selecting questions and rejecting questions, eliminating questions. So first of all, I have to learn to select the questions that I can solve and eliminate the ones I cannot. Then I can start talking about CAT. So the question is not about the knowledge, it's about strategy. Okay, mocks help you build stamina. As I was saying, can you sit for 2 hours? So it is about building your stamina, adaptability, and focus. Okay, then mocks help reveal gaps in time management. So, sir, I knew 4 more questions, but I couldn't do it because I couldn't reach those 4 questions. Those 4 questions at the end, I just couldn't see because rest of the questions took so much of time. So that is another problem, right? Then comes the 4th point, which is reducing the exam day anxiety. I get used to writing those 31 mocks so much that CAT is just like another mock. And this is something that the students have told us. So CAT ek aur mock jaisa feel hua. Why? Because they have done so much practice. And finally, it helps you iterate and improve continuously. So it brings you into the cycle of strategizing, testing, analysis, preparation, and practice. Right? So it gets us into that kind of a cycle. So this cycle is what I'm talking about. Okay? So that is why we must take mocks. Now let me quickly just see the questions. Rudra says, I wasn't enrolled, sir. I'll try giving mocks from this weekend. It's okay. Rudra, I was just telling you about the importance of taking them. Don't worry if you haven't. I'm not trying to scare you, but start now. You start right away. Okay. So if you've started your preparation, you take your first mock this weekend. That is tomorrow, day after tomorrow. All right. So that's my thing to you, Rudra. Vanshika says how to choose and change strategy. We'll talk about that. What types of strategies we can go about. We'll talk about that. Rajapriya says, can you please tell us how to analyze the mock exactly? Yeah. So Rajapriya, we are getting into that immediately, right? Or maybe in the next 5 minutes. What I do right now is I go through the solutions. I make an Excel sheet with remarks for every question, and I read those questions as well. So Rajpriya, you are doing a good job to start with. Okay, you're going the right way. I'll tell you the exact way to go about in the coming slides. Okay. Kushang says, "Sir, when will you be analyzing the CDC Pro mock live in this session?" No, I won't be analyzing the CDC Pro mock. There is already an analysis of CDC Pro mock which is planned, right? So hold on for that, right? So let's. I think it was done. No, wasn't CDC Pro mock already analyzed? We've done that session, Kushang, if I'm not wrong. Anyway, you can reach out to us in the team, and we'll get back to you. Okay. Yes, 6 months will suffice, Rudra, if your basics get cleared. But basics getting cleared is one part of it, and testing is another part. So let's get into that. Okay. So why do most students plateau? Some of you would have seen, sir, I've taken 4 mocks, 5 mocks, 3 mocks, and I've reached a plateau. So there is a reason for that also. If you're plateauing, or if you've not plateaued yet, you will. Okay. So the common issues that students face is rushing to the next mock. एक mock दे दिया. Some students are not taking mocks. Some students are only taking mocks without thinking anything. They're just rushing to the next mock to attempt it. Students are not re-answering the question. What Rajpriya said she does, that she solves the questions again, right? Students don't do that. Hence, their scores don't improve. I'll tell you why. They don't do a section-wise review because overall CAT doesn't mean anything. The overall CAT is just a combination of 3 sections. So technically, we have to look at the sections. What is the weakness or strength in that section? How am I going to work on that section? There's no strategy called a CAT strategy. There's always a sectional strategy. And if all the sectional strategies go right is when CAT goes right? So that's how it is. So people don't do a section-wise review. Students focus only on the overall score, which is not something to focus on. In fact, people like Rudra who are taking their first mock, or any of you who've taken your first mocks, when you took your first or second mock, and if you started judging yourself on the basis of the mock score, that's a wrong thing to do. The mocks are not given to you to find out your score and judge yourself that मेरा यही capability है, इतना कम क्यों आया, मैं depress हो गया. That is not what the mocks are for. The mocks are for you to understand what you did right, what you did wrong, where you could improve and how you could improve. So first of all, stop judging yourself on the overall score. That doesn't make sense at this stage. It makes sense maybe in September, October, November, but not right now. Right now, mocks are not for the scores and percentiles. It is something else, right? So what is the realization out of it? The realization is that strategy is more important. Speed is important, but strategy is more important. You need to go with a plan. You need to execute the plan. And after executing the plan, if the game has changed, if the difficulty level has increased or decreased, I need to be capable of changing my plan, my execution tactically. That is what I'm supposed to do. So strategy trumps over speed. All the while, you will be trying to build your speed, but you'll be working on your strategy, right? Second, analysis is more important than accuracy. You are not going to get 100% questions correct. Well, a very few of you might get a lot of them correct, but no one's going to get 100% questions correct. So how do I increase my correct questions? How do I decrease my wrong questions? How do I better make my selection better? That is a question. So analysis trumps accuracy, and patterns over practice. Patterns over practice meaning finding patterns. I found this kind of a question in 3 mocks before this one. And this question, I had done it by looking at the answer choices, options. And I was able to solve it. Or in such and such question, I was able to take the value of X to be 0, 1, 2, and I got a pattern from there where I could work out the answer. Can you find out those patterns? Can you identify those patterns and use them to your benefit? So practice is important, but finding patterns is more important. I'm sorry, I'm very thirsty today because supposedly Delhi is very hot. And yeah, I'm very thirsty. Okay, so what is a 3-phase mock timeline strategy? So there's a 3-phase timeline strategy. Okay, the first is March to June, which is going on right now. Then comes July to September, which is about to come next month. And then there is a final phase, which is October, November. So let's call the first phase as foundation phase. You are in the foundation phase right now, where you should be taking one mock in a fortnight or in a week. Sometimes, when we started off in March, it was once in a month. So once in a month to now coming to almost once in a fortnight or once in a week is the frequency of the mocks, where your focus of analysis is going to be on resolving and some basic review, right? So I'm going to tell you what resolving and basic review mean. Then you will go on to build. So the outcome of it. Now, what are you achieving out of it? You're going to build stamina, discover weak areas. That's what you're going to do. Okay. You may also discover that this is a chapter I've done. This is supposed to be a strength area, but I'm not able to score on the basis of the questions on this area. So then you might want to revisit that area. For example, if you've done ratio 2 weeks back, ratio, proportions, and variation, and after doing that chapter, you went through the chapter, did your topic test, funda books, all of that good practice you've done. After doing that good practice, you were not able to attempt to 3 out of 3 questions in the last mock. Then what is the use? So now what you must understand is, where did I go wrong? Did I not know that topic so well? I thought I knew it, but I did not know it. Or was I not able to do it in the pressure of time? Can I still try and see that if I can do this? So re-attempting the question to find out whether I can still do it. Or going back to the basics, going back to your books and saying, why did I not get this chapter? Okay, so that is what I mean by going back to your practice. Okay, then the second phase, which starts next month, once you've taken 3, 4, 5 mocks at least, right? You are in the acceleration phase where you start taking 1 mocks a week and then 2 mocks a week. Come September, tak you will be taking almost 2 mocks a week, right? Here you are again focusing on the analysis, which is resolving, deep analysis, and strategy. Finalizing, fulfilling your strategy. Whether I'm able to execute my strategy right, do I need to change my strategy? Those are the things you work on. In the meantime, what you do is you improve your weak areas and identify the best strategy that works for you. And finally, in October, November, you hit the simulation phase where you're taking roughly 2 mocks a week, but maybe sometimes 3 mocks a week also. This is mostly exam simulation, which means अब मैं exam के नजदीक आ गया हूँ. How can I increase that small increase in percentile, I'm so sorry, in the score, hence, right? So, and how do I sort of simulate what I'm going to do at CAT? For example, when the CAT comes closer, and assume that you have an 8:30 a.m. slot, which is far away from a city, right? So you are supposed to reach there by 7:30, which means you will have to start from home at 6:15 in the morning, which means you have to wake up at 5 o'clock and get ready, have tea, and leave by 6:15 to reach there at 7 and start the test at 8:30. Now, if you're a person who wakes up at 10 o'clock in the morning and suddenly one fine day for CAT you have to wake up at 5 o'clock, you will not be able to function. So you have to simulate your lifestyle. When you get the idea that my slot is 8:30, I need to wake up at 5:30 and I have to work the way I need to work, get ready, take a bath, blah blah blah, and sit down for a mock at 8:30 sharp. You have to simulate the exam conditions. Another example, if your slot is 12:30 in the afternoon, so there are 3 slots, 8:30, 12:30, and 4:30 in the evening. So 12:30 afternoon, if you have a slot, what happens? So generally, I'm used to having my lunch at 1:30 p.m. 12:30, I was not hungry because I entered my exam center at 11:30. So 11:30, I was not hungry. 1:30, my rhythm, my body clock kicked in and I started getting hungry. And because of that, I performed badly at my test because till 3 o'clock, I couldn't come out of the test center, or 3:30 maybe. So I spoiled everything after that 1 hour. So you need to get into the cycle, right? So simulation mode is on, right? So that is what you're doing. And you're working on confidence and tuning of your confidence. Anyway, so let's move on. So now, I think one slide is missing. Let me just check. Yes. One slide is missing. So let me talk about that. And that slide talks about Occart score. Now, what is Occart score? Can anyone tell me what Occart score is? Quickly. Anyone who knows what Occart score is? We at CL keep talking about Occart score all the time. Okay, Mr. Jack Sparrow is here. And in the chat, he says, "Good evening, sir. This is Rakesh here. I wanted to thank you and the entire CL team for believing in me and helping me reach true potential. With your blessings and guidance, I converted IIM Bangalore. Thank you so much. I'm proud of you, Jack. I mean, Rakesh, right? Congratulations on IIM Bangalore. Okay. So coming back to the point, what is Occart score? Occart score is score without time limit, which means when I'm done with my mock, okay, 2 hours, I wrote my mock. I came out of the mock. I took 2 more hours to solve the mock all over again to find out if I can do something more and get a score. And you end up realizing that I could do 3 more questions than what I did in my actual mock, or 2 more questions. That was 6 to 9 marks more, right? That's a huge jump in percentiles. I could have done that in this mock because I'm able to do it now. I could have done it then. So then there is a lot of learning that come out of it. That did I select the questions right? Did I reject the questions wrong? Did I spend too much time on the wrong questions? Those kind of questions start getting solved. So the first learning from this, how to analyze, the question that you asked me, how to analyze, Vanshika jo pooch rahi thi, right? So the first thing about how to analyze is get into resolving the questions. Of course, there'll be a lot of questions from a lot of chapters that you've not studied yet. Chuck them. In fact, don't even chuck them. Try them. See if you can get some logical answer to it. You've not studied that, so you're not worried about it. वो जब पढ़ेंगे तब करेंगे. But can you find a jugaad solution for yourself, by yourself, that works for you? Because GP ने तो जुगाड़ दे दिया है, but GP's jugaad might not just work for you till you try your own jugads. Are you getting it? So the point I'm trying to make is the analysis goes this way, that it starts with solving the questions again. In solving the questions, you will work out your Occart score, which means a score that you could get outside the test, outside the time limit, right? So start with that, okay? And if we do that, and after that, we decide that every 1 or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, I'm going to increase one more question. One net correct question more I'm going to do in my mocks. And this is what the data sort of predicts from the last year's data, right? So for example, if you were at a 30 percentile in your one mock that you took last week, let's say, that 30 percentile, if you get one more question correct in the next 2-3 weeks, will lead you to 50 percentile. One more question correct per mock will make it reach 59 percentile. And all the way till the 23rd week, which is around CAT, this will go to 91 percentile. I'm not sure. This is when I calculate. I don't know 23 weeks are remaining or not. I'm sure they are, right? If you're sitting on a 60 percentile, you can easily reach a 97. That doesn't mean you can't go beyond that. Of course, you can go beyond. That is the student's capability. What I'm trying to say is one more mark would give you this much percentile. One more question, sorry. So it's 3 more marks would give you this much percentile every time, right? So suddenly this seems possible that in every 2 mocks, if I get one more net correct question, then the only game that exists is about persistence. And like Jack Sparrow is saying, Rome wasn't built in a day. And this is something coming from an IIM Bangalore student. I agree with him, right? So Rome wasn't built in a day, and it will take time. It is all about the time and persistence and you keeping at it. All right. Okay. So now let's go on to the analysis. So what do you do? What are the do's and don'ts? So the do's include reattempt the mock without timer. So find your Occart score, tag each question. So like Vanshika said, this is what she does. Very good idea. Tag each question. These are the kind of questions I'm able to do. These are the questions I'm not able to do. It's about chapter, difficulty level, topic. Maybe I'm able to do all the time speed, distance questions. except the circular races, right? So I should know that. Or I should know that the geometry if you give me any easy to moderate question, I'll be able to do. If it's a moderate level plus question, I can't do. So I should know myself, right? So tag the questions that you are getting right or wrong on the basis of concept, on the basis of carefulness or carelessness, on the basis of time issue, on the basis of whatever, right? You tag the questions. Track section wise performance for sure, right? Which is a section which is working for you. Let's say RC is working for me, sir. Parajumble is not working for me. But एक second, Parajumble is not working for me. Have you even tried Parajumbles in mocks? How much have you tried it? How much practice have you done outside the mock? Right? So please make sure that you track your section-wise performances and maintain a mock log sheet. Of course, there's a lot of logs available in your analysis. If you have taken CL ka mock, there's a lot of analysis where all of these things are logged. In fact, you can bookmark questions. The questions you want to revisit later, you can bookmark them. And they'll be available in a place called bookmarks. So this is a good idea. So these are the things you must do for analysis after every mock. What you shouldn't do. Okay, before I go to shouldn't do. So hear me out. Hear me out. Okay, so let me just one sec. What you shouldn't do is a lot of students jump to video solutions. Okay, as soon as they have done the mock, they go and check the questions. This is wrong, check the video solution. That's the worst way of learning. Worst way. Why am I saying it is the worst way? Because video solutions are actually anywhere, anyone who's making them. I'm not talking about CL, I'm talking about any institute. Video solutions are not useful when you jump at it. Now, what does this mean? So if you don't have the eureka moment yourself, you don't get the eureka moment, right? Then you're not going to remember anything. It's like for example, you say, sir, ye question samajh mein nahi aaya, and I solve. This is how you do it, and you say, understood. But can you do the question again? No, you can't. Till the time you figure out how to do it yourself. So have you tried the question enough before looking at the video solution or the text solution? So first you try enough, and then you go on to the video solution or the text solution. Don't jump to the video solution. So the first thing that I want to talk to you about in the don'ts is don't jump to solutions. Try the question before you look at the solution. Second, don't jump to the next mock without reviewing the previous one. Don't ignore the correct guesses. So some questions you got correct only on the basis of fluke. And you might think that's my strength, but that may not be your strength. Also, sometimes you just thought it's a guess, but it's not a guess. You actually worked out a jugaad, maybe. So also go and see which guesses you got right. Okay, which guesses you got wrong, because you don't want to do that kind of a guesswork again and get negative marking out of it. All right, don't rely only on the total score. The total score means shit. It means nothing. Okay, and don't copy other people's strategy. Don't do that. That won't work for you, because every person has his own thing going. Every person needs his own strategy to work. My strategy won't work for you, and your strategy won't work for me. So please don't do that. Okay. So this is the Auqat score I was talking about, that you need to work out the Auqat score. I think I've explained this. Okay, Jack Sparrow, of course, I have no issue if you attend the session. No problem. Okay, so 3-layer mock analysis framework. So there is a 3 layers. I think the PPT has gotten a little garbled on this platform, but that's all right. I hope you can understand. Right, so there are 3 layers to this mock analysis framework. There's a three-layer framework to this analysis. The first is a surface level review. A lot of you right now are doing a surface level review, right? Where you look at the sectional score, you look at the time spent, you look at the attempts you did. That's a surface level. Well, that's also important to start with. So you start with the scorecard. You look at how much scores you got. You look at accuracy. You look at questions, and solve them. Then you look at solutions after that. You look at time productivity analysis. All of this is available in our CDC mock analysis, right? So on our students portal, right, in CL. Then comes the second part, the deep dive analysis, the deep dive error analysis. What went wrong? Why it went wrong? How do I fix it? These are the questions you answer. There are two nice analyses in the CDC analysis that we do, drill down analysis and booster analysis. Use these two to go deeper into things. So booster analysis, for example, tells you, I knew this question, I knew this topic, and I got it right. This is a question I must attempt. But I knew this topic and I did not get it right. I got it wrong. Then there's a problem. If I knew this question and I left it for later, or I just eliminated it, rejected the question, कि नहीं करना ये वाला, then I made a biggest mistake. So this is what the booster analysis tells you. Okay. And finally, the third layer is a strategy tuning that you will need to do. So you adjust the question order. For example, some people might say, sir, I want to start with para jumbles first and finish para summaries, do two RCs, then go and check out something else. Okay, fine. So you keep trying different things. You experiment, you adjust the question order. You see what works for you and what does not. And you define your strategy accordingly. Maybe sometimes you experiment increasing attempts. Sometimes you might, if you are bad at, your accuracy is too bad, right? You might decide on decreasing the attempts. You might do these kind of experiments and see what worked for you. Now, this is the detail in which I am asking you to analyze. So now let's hold it. Okay. And let's do a quick recap. The first thing you must do is not look at the video solutions, but solve the questions again. Right? That might take time, but do it again. Solve the questions you got wrong. Solve the questions you got right. See if you can do them faster. After you've solved comes this 3-layered analysis. So then you go for the surface level review. You look at the scorecard, you look at the accuracy, you look at the questions, you look at the time productivity analysis. Then you go deeper. While doing this, you may maintain an Excel or a notebook, right, where you write down your observations in a particular format, and that will help you, develop your strategy. In the meantime, while you're solving the questions, you start bookmarking the questions. Now, these are the things you do so typically, if you've taken 2 hours to write a mock, you should take about 3 hours to do your analysis, at least. As of now, 2 months down, you will take only 1.5 hours to do the same analysis, or maybe lesser. But as of today, you should spend 3 hours doing the analysis. All right. So let's look at the mock schedule for the upcoming mocks. Just to give you an idea, already 6 flexi mocks and 1 pro mock has been concluded, and 1 launchpad. So that makes it 8 mocks done out of 31 mocks. All right. Now we have the next one coming up is CDC Flexi 7, followed by CDC Pro 2. So we have 2 mocks coming up end of June and early July. So make sure you are ready for it. Now, how can you be ready for it? So if you've taken 5-6 mocks, like someone said in the chat, what you must do is go back and see and analyze and formulate a strategy on the basis of them. Those of you not taken mocks, please take the mocks, at least 2-3 of them. Before 28th, you take 2 mocks, not more. That should be good enough, and analyze them, right? But start off. Okay, start off here. So let me see if I have some questions I missed out. A lot of questions I've missed out. So I'll start from the bottom. Kanishka says, sir, if I score well in the topic test, will I score well from the full length tests, or will I struggle in mocks at start? Is it normal? Oh, it is normal to struggle. Absolutely normal. You score well in the first full length tests. I'm trying to understand the question better. अच्छा, टॉपिक टेस्ट में स्कोर आ रहा है बट फुल लेंथ में नहीं आ रहा है, इज व्हाट आई अंडरस्टैंड. ठीक है. So that is okay because topic tests are smaller tests of particular topic. When I mix those smaller tests of different topics together is when it forms one sectional test. And when I combine these three sectionals is what makes a full length mock. So full length mock is a different ball game as compared to a topic wise test. Okay, so that's about it, Kanishka. Okay, Shubham says in last mock I got 5 marks in VARC, but prior to that I had scored 33 and I don't know how it happened. Okay, so let me answer that. So VARC में vary हो रहे हैं 5 to 33 is normal, it is okay. If it happens in September, it is not okay. If it happens in May, June, it is okay. That's the first answer. Secondly, go back to those mocks, see what you did wrong. Maybe it was not a day. Maybe you did not have tea. Maybe you did not meet your girlfriend in the morning. Whatever it is. I mean, I'm just giving you an idea of something that worked in one mock and it didn't work for the other, right? You should find out what those things are. And that won't be one, right? It's one good day and one bad day. Forget the two outliers. Take the middle range and work it out. And see how you can replicate the 33 and beyond. Okay, so that's how you should do it, Subham. But in DILR, for the first time in 6 months, I was able to do one set fully correct. Very well said. So Shubham, I'll tell you something I've been saying in a lot of sessions on YouTube and otherwise. DILR will not happen in a day. RC will not happen in a day. You will have to keep doing DILR sets, 2 to 3 DILR sets every day. And someday, 2 months down, it will work for you. You will be able to crack one set. So since you've been practicing, it has suddenly started cracking, right? So good, you keep practicing. You want to get to at least 2 sets in the mock to start with, and then maybe 2.5 to be at a 99 plus percentile, right? So good start, I would say, good start. All right. एक second, I've missed a lot. Jack Sparrow left. Okay. Devraj says, sir, generally face difficulty in table setup. How to improve that? So go and work on tables. Go and work on tables. Take topic tests. Go back to your mocks and do the table mocks again. Go to the PYQs and find the table wala mocks and do them. Now, these are the things to do. All you have to do is keep doing the questions again and again and again and again till you figure out that, okay, this kind of a thing works sometimes or most times. Okay. So that's about it, Devraj. Okay. Hemant says, sir, in VARC, if I focus on my accuracy, the number of attempts decreases. And if I focus on attempts, then my accuracy falls. Yes, that's exactly the trade-off that CAT stands on. Okay? And you will have to find that beautiful spot, that beautiful place in between the two. That is exactly what you need to figure out. And there is no single answer for that because your answer will be different from a Kanishka's answer and that will be different from a Vaibhav's answer. So, Hemant, that is something that you will have to figure out. So that will require a lot of practice. So when you write a lot of mocks and sectional mocks and analyze them, you'll come up with learnings and it will click. Don't worry. The answer is in practice and analysis. Okay. Vaibhav says, how do I improve my VARC score? See, at this point of time, most people will be asking about VARC and DILR, even if they don't know quant. That's the nature of the exam. Come October, you will be in a better place. Till then, keep at it. VARC and DILR, please keep at it. That's what I want to say. Okay, let me move on with my thing and I'll come back to the questions again. Okay, so what do the 99 percentilers do differently? What do they do? How do they get it right? So attempt and reattempt each mock. Now, when I say reattempt, what do I mean? So if I'm attempting this mock, after the mock, I'm working on the OCAD score, solving the questions again. So I'm reattempting in that sense. While I'm doing that, I'm bookmarking the questions that I want to see again. Right? So Today's mock in September, October, November, I will be looking at my bookmarked questions all over again. So I'll be attempting and reattempting my mock in that way. Okay, that's one. Second, maintain a section-wise heat map of strengths and weaknesses. What does heat map mean? What is the most strength area? What is the biggest weakness area? Which one do I have to work on? How do I get the weakness out of the weakness area without affecting the strength? Because if I only keep working on the weakness, my strength will fall down. I have to catch that also, right? So I have to maintain my strength as a strength and maximize on it, and I have to remove the weakness from the weakness. If I can't make it a strength, it's all right, but it can't be my weakness, right? So today I'll be working on those things. Set one improvement goal after every mock. After every mock, you decide one thing, that I will work on parajumbles till my next mock. Work on one goal. Okay, so or I will finish these two important chapters in quant that I want to finish, so that I can get some score. Now this is the thing, you have to take some goals. One goal after each mock should work for you per section. Review, why did I get this question right? क्या मुझे आता था? Was it a fluke? What was it? Why did I get this wrong? Did I not know it? Then it's all right. But had I done this chapter and I did not could not do the question, then I have to revisit. So ask yourself these questions. Every mock percentile as an opportunity, right? It's an opportunity. Strategy plus analysis is greater than the number of mocks taken. You don't have to take 50 mocks. Your 30 mocks are enough. As far as you strategize and analyze, that's what you do. Build consistency, not chaos. If your preparation is chaotic, it's all over the place, it won't help. Be consistent in your effort and trust the process, refine the plan. So having said that, let me take you through this. CAT 2025, I'll take some questions also. CAT 2025 test series. CL CDC mocks. These are called CDC mocks. That is countdown CAT mocks, CDC. These are your besties. Now, I'll tell you why they are your besties. Okay. So why CLCDC? So there's a lot of AI-driven performance insights in the analysis. We have a test gym already there. Very soon as in anytime now, we are launching the adaptive format of the test gym, right? You can attempt over 30 mocks, right? It's absolute simulation of a CAT in terms of the look and feel and the calculator and the navigation bar and all of those things, right? There are video attempts for mocks. There is AI-driven percentile predictor, right? So these kind of things exist only in CLCDCs. Apart from this, you have video solutions for all of CDC Pro mocks. All CDC Pro mocks are analyzed by these 5 gentlemen and me, 6 of us, and 1 or 2 other people like ARCs and others. So we have some 7-8 people who do the analysis of the Pro mocks, right? Uske upar, GP provides jugaad solutions for each and every CDC Pro mock himself. So then you have those jugaad solutions also. Attempt Pro mocks in the same. So the Pro mocks are the proctored mocks. There's no difference between Flexi mocks and Pro mocks. Only difference is that Pro mocks are fixed slots, fixed days, fixed slots. So it gives you a simulation, the exact experience of the CAT exam. And get a chance to write mocks at the offline centers. You can go and write them at the offline centers as well. Live mock analysis on YouTube. We do live mock analysis on YouTube every Monday. When I say every Monday of the weekend where there is a mock. Every such Monday, we come at 8 p.m. and we do this analysis. Exclusive Telegram groups for doubt resolution, right? So there is an exclusive Telegram group for it, and so on. Now, what are the analysis tools available? So those of you who are asking, sir, analysis kaise kare? Where do we do the analysis from? So this is the overall scorecard that you see. So for example, whatever score you've got in the mock percentile, section wise and overall is what you get. Then you have VARC, DILR wise split of correct, incorrect questions and unattempted questions that you have had. After this, there's something called a boost analysis that I talked about. The questions I got right and questions I should have attempted and questions I got right are a good shot. Look at the last one. Questions I should not have attempted and questions I got wrong. I should not have attempted it and I got it wrong. So क्यों किया? It was double negative. You should not have done it. But if questions you should not have attempted and you did not attempt, so it's a well left, अच्छा किया. It was a good decision of rejecting that question, not attempting that question. Very nice. Then there's something called a drill down analysis, which is a detailed analysis that goes in, right? So there are many test series variants that are there. In case you're looking at purchasing cat mocks, you have good number of variants. This is the MRP that is showing. Of course, the landing price would be different because there could be some of the waivers and scholarships going on that day. So you could do that. You could get that. If you come in groups, you get a better deal, definitely. So these are the different products that we have. And let's look at this. I'm sorry. So look at this. What the students say about our mocks, right? So this is the kind of data, the kind of answer that the students have for us. It is a great package at a reasonable price, is what the student is saying. You can look at it for yourself. So okay, now there's a confusion. There's a confusion that there are so many mock variants. Which one do I buy? So there is this table that gives you an idea. For example, if you don't want non-cat mocks, right? Non-cat meaning SNAP, ZAT, and MAT, so on. Then you go for a CAT 2025 test series, the first two options, because they don't have the non-CAT mocks. But if you want the non-CAT mocks, you might as well go to the right-hand side of the table, right? Similarly, so this gives you an idea. For example, the first product does not have daily dose. The daily dose is a very important part of it, where you practice questions in a test format on a daily basis, right? So some of the variants have that. So you have different variants with different kind of features in that, and you can pick and choose whatever you want. Apart from that, there's a very interesting part. So you have these 5 variants. Apart from these 5 variants, you have something called build your own test gym. Build your own test gym tells you, okay, you select your things, the features that you want, and work out a price for yourself. So if you say that my budget is only 2,500 or 3,000 rupees, then you choose your elements in such a way that it totals up to 3,000 rupees. Right? So that is how you can build your own test gym. Then there is something called daily dose test that you can purchase. A daily dose test, you have 2 tests on a daily basis. From 15 September, there will be 3 tests every day. They start on at 3 o'clock in the morning and get over by 12 in the night. Right? So that is how the cycle works. And once closed, they don't open again. So you take it. So there's an urgency of doing it every day that makes you practice every day. And then there are open CDCs. Open CDCs are all India mocks. The mocks which are taken by all CL and non-CL students, a huge number of them. So you can benchmark yourself against the best in the country, right? So that's how it is. And those of you who are preparing for self-prep, you're planning for self-prep or doing self-prep, this is your best friend. OpenCat program is a free resource portal. No catch, no money, nothing, no fees required. You can just go and check it out. Okay, this is a beautiful thing for people who want to do self-prep or people who are prepping with some institute but want additional material, good quality CL material. Here it is in a curated format. Okay, so that is what it is for you. And finally, the biggest news of all, we are celebrating our Achievers Meet, which we call MBARC, right? With the 2024 Achievers. There are 2 photos here, but there are 9 people expected to attend this, and there are confirmations. And Gautam Puri will be handling the panel, heading the panel, asking questions to the students on your behalf, and you can ask questions on your behalf. So please attend this session. Go forth, register right now. Look for Embark of Career Launcher and register for the event, and you can hear from the horse's mouth. Right? We can take some more questions. We have some 6 minutes to go. But before you leave, make sure that you subscribe to our channel immediately. All right. So let me take some questions. All right. So I'll start from the bottom. Apurva Bansal says, sir, how many questions in DILR should we solve in mocks consistently to expect 99 percentile plus? In November, when you want to, probably uh, get a 99 percentile, you should be able to solve at max three. I'm saying at max three sets, at least two sets, somewhere in between. Okay. Today, you must be able to pick at least one set or half of two sets, part of two sets works. So even if you are able to get 4, 5, 6 questions right now, it is a good start. Okay. Even if you're not able to get that right now, you may get there in a month or so. Right. So keep practicing on a daily basis, Apurva. Okay. Vishakha says, just a second, I got a call. Vishaka says, sir, what should we do for risky short questions? Risky short is where you take a call. How risky is it? Is it going to be harmful risky? If so, then you should not attempt. If you think that you can sail through, and that you'll get by experience. So when you take such risky shots and you analyze them for what they are, you come to know whether they are worth attempting or not, or which questions are worth attempting. So Vishaka, Vanshika, this will come with experience only. Josh says, I can't do my quant. I can't do with quant. My VARC is slightly good. Okay, quant is a problem with you. So quant is a problem. Very simply, Josh, a काम करो. Start with arithmetic. When I say arithmetic, I mean percentage, profit and loss, SICI, ratio, proportion, time, speed, distance. Start taking one chapter at a time, 2 chapters in a week or something like that, and go through them from cover to cover. So see the recorded lectures, solve the funda book if you are a CL student, I assume. So then solve the funda book exercise. Go and take a few topic tests. This is what you should do, and one chapter is done. Second chapter done. Just start doing this, okay? And probably a month down, a month and a half down, there'll be at least 7, 8 chapters which are your strengths, which you will be able to find in your mock. Okay, so this is how you should start. Once you're done with arithmetic, go to algebra. When you're done with algebra, go to geometry. Do this. And in between that, you please do numbers. Because in geometry and numbers, I don't want you to miss out on the easy questions. Okay. Sir, are PYQs relevant for current question levels? Yes, Simran. PYQs are important. So what you should do is exactly what RT99, raised to 99 percentile, is the event we conduct. Exactly what that is about, right? So in the last 3 months, February, March, and April, we did 3 different PYQ papers. You can find that in the YouTube as well, right? We did 3 PYQs papers in the sense that 21, 22, and 23. Sorry, CAT 22, CAT 23, CAT 24 slot 1 is what we solved. In August, we have another bigger RT99 event coming up. So stay with us on that, right? Apart from that, even if you're a student, in your My Zone, you will find PYQs. Or if you're not a student, you can go to OpenCat, which I just shared, and find PYQs as well. Sir, Rudra says, sir, is it possible to go from 77 to 99 percentile in the remaining time? Yes, Rudra. It is possible to go from 77 to 99, and is also possible to go from 77 to 55. Okay, so the game is in your hands. Okay, so I took a couple of questions. I'm sorry if I missed out a couple. Let me take the last one. Hemant says, sir, I know the quant concept. When I do in exam, I make calculation mistakes. Exactly. Which means the time pressure is not working for you. So you relax. Next mock में you start relaxing. आराम से question कर. Select कर, ध्यान से कर, खत्म कर before you go ahead. Because in that हड़बड़ी you are not losing -1. You're losing 4 marks. The 3 marks you could have got, and the 1 mark you lost. It's a loss of 4 marks. So give it some time. Relax. Right? And with this, my friends, I have come to the end of the session. I wish you all the best. And we'll keep coming. We'll keep meeting you on this platform. Do like, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave us good comments. Leave us the love. Thank you. Have a good night. Bye bye.